Community Preservation Committee meeting for Monday, May 11th. I think first order of business was to approve the prior minutes that Brooke had sent to everyone. Any questions on those? Looked pretty straightforward to me.
Nope, they look good.
Could I have a motion to approve those? That was from the, let's see, was it April meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of March 2nd.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? That's a majority. Thank you. All right, review town meeting. That was just essentially existing, those that were approved. Indeed, I thought town meeting went well. I was glad, considering you never know, right?
It went surprisingly smoothly.
Yeah, at least our articles
Yes,
did.
thank you for
Happy to do
presenting.
so.
Crowd was friendly.
A couple of outstanding items, and Brooke, I know we and you and I and Fred spoke about this. The only unique item is that the Westborough TV is considered a grant because it is not a town-owned property. So there is a special process there. I did get some information which I had intended to send to you today, Brooke, from Stuart, but my day got away from me. So I will forward that, but then we had discussed possibility of John and I and he having a meeting just to review that, because John Steinberg had expressed that they had to go through the whole process, the whole town process, when actually it's a little bit different for them. And does not have to use like prevailing wage and things, at least in their opinion. And Stuart was in agreement with that. So I'm going to try to arrange that this week. Would you like to be a part of that, Brooke? If we can make that happen in terms of being on a call with Stuart and John? Okay. What? One of you.
Right.
All right. I'll have my team set that up, so I'll include you on those emails. All right, and then we can get some clarity to Westborough TV folks, because the grant process is a little bit different. Effectively, they have to bill us. They have to get billed and then look for reimbursement, as opposed to us just directly paying like we can on the town-owned properties. And those that are town-owned do indeed have to go through the regular town procurement process. But a property that's not town-owned is a little bit unique in that it's a grant process.
Okay.
Right? So once we get clarity on that, we'll share that. I'll share that with all of you. All right. But it's the first time we're doing it. So for John to be clear and us to be clear, I'll schedule and arrange that. All right. And I'll follow up with everyone on that. So that was kind of the only unique, I think, item from those prior grants that we've made or distributions that we're making. And we'll keep you updated on the rest. All right. Any other thoughts or questions or feedback from town meeting of that process, or anybody heard anything? Okay, straightforward. Great. All right. In terms of, the primary focus tonight was just to make sure, lessons learned from the prior experience and trying to have clarity on setting up the timeline, because the fall will be here in 5 minutes. If summer would ever get here, that'd be great. But in our document, Brooke, I think, included that. It's actually here too, below, right? Yes. So this highlighted piece effectively, has us beginning to get the word out. I mean, the word's already out. We've had a few other people inquire. I'll talk about that in a moment. And that the pre-applications, we start kind of advertising again, whether we do another Westborough TV or take another ad. I think those things were useful. My hope is as we do more of these, the word is out through town meeting and such. But we effectively start to solicit again in August and September for the pre-applications. Now we have on here that we'll have our first informational meeting on the first Monday of September, that people can come in and discuss the pre-applications. They're due by October 1st. And then in our October meeting is when we decide whether, and we review those, have people in if there's questions, and decide which can move forward or not. And then last year we required by the end of November the final applications. It felt like it got a little squeezed, but it kind of, I don't know that there's any different way to do it. I think part of that was the first time getting the word out took some time.
Yeah, I think
But-
maybe
Thoughts on it?
if we can encourage people to submit their pre-applications earlier, then we could get the final applications earlier. There's no reason these applications can't come in earlier.
So perhaps.
We just don't have to vote on them until
Right.
everything's in, right?
Well, if we get them earlier than that September meeting, we may be able to already say to some folks, yes, this project is, meets the guidelines or not. So they
Yeah,
can be working more quickly.
I think we
and
would-
getting us the other information more quickly.
Before we would vote on the recommendation to town, I think we'd want to have all the applications in, though. Like, I'd hate to vote on something and then have something else come in and find out that,
The whole
Oh,
point
no,
of deadlines.
that would only be, I think, on
well,
a,
I'm not saying deadlines. I'm just saying that, if somebody submits a completed application in August, we should wait to vote on it until that.
my point is only
October.
just the approval, Mark, that pre-application
No,
indeed qualifies and then
The
bring us
determination of eligibility.
You feel like that even we should wait till.
No, I'm good
tomorrow?
on that. We
Okay.
can tell them they're eligible.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I
and
think
bring it
that's right.
and work on the final.
I
or-
just
or
don't
take
wanna-
it any further. You're
I don't want to make a recommendation at town meeting
Totally
until
agree.
we have all the applications.
I totally agree with
You're
that.
saying open the application process earlier,
Sure.
just open it in August, have our.
I don't see why we
regular
couldn't
first
take an
meeting in
application
September,
now. Mm-hmm.
Reiterating it and seeing if anybody did actually apply before August, but then reiterating, what the
Well-
process is.
Well, the pre-applications could come in any
Yeah,
time, in my
right.
opinion. We can determine eligibility, vote on whether it's eligible, right? We're not making a recommendation at that point. We're only determining eligibility for funding.
Putting it in the
And that
lineup.
might help us if we do say, well, we're not going to recommend it this year, but, if you come back, it's eligible.
Well, and I will say that, Brooke's already getting, and I have, we've already got some inquiries, like, would this be eligible? Like, for instance, the pool and that's not eligible because it's not a historic building. It doesn't meet any of the other parameters. We have another one from the church, from St. Luke's, that's inquiring, but they have to, but first they have to determine that they're a historical building. So Brooke has been working with them on that process.
Pool doesn't
So-
work under recreation.
Well,
it
because the
doesn't-
building was
it-
purchased before without
Correct.
CPC funds. If the building
Correct.
was purchased with CPC funds, then we could have
They
potentially been
could have
able
potentially, right.
to put the pool in there, but because it was purchased without CPC funds.
Right. If it was an outdoor pool in one of the parks that we own with open
Right.
space, then that could have been considered. But in that building,
I
it's a
see.
town-owned
Oh,
building
that's too bad.
that doesn't qualify.
Hmm.
So those inquiries come in along the way already, Mark, because I think the word is getting out. And so
Right.
people are starting to think about it, which is great. And so we're certainly responding to those if they come, and letting people know yes or no, or you may need to give us further information. And so maybe in line of what you're talking about, though, maybe we put like the ad in July.
Yeah, why not make
So,
it,
because we didn't do that till like the end of
Yeah.
August, because we were finishing,
I
right?
mean, we could have it, applications open as of July 1st and with our fiscal year and then just.
Sure, that
So
makes
that's not a
sense.
And then-
CPC
and then
requirement, a
put
date?
Information out too.
I don't think I think that was I wasn't on the committee when those deadlines were voted, but I don't think it's a CPC requirement. I think it's,
Well,
you know,
the
because every
document
town
does
has different,
state,
meeting
Oh, that's
dates
true,
and
too.
stuff,
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
you have it in the
Okay.
document. So listen, the document
Can
is
be
amendable
updated.
and
That's right.
updated.
Oh, yeah, we're supposed to amend it
Um,
every year.
That's right.
Right, and review it.
I like
So-
your
so-
thinking,
so-
though, Julia, the fiscal year, open the applications as of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
That makes a
that
lot of
makes
sense.
Sure does.
All right. I mean, I still
should get
think
paid for
that-
this.
I still think that the meeting to review those should be that September meeting.
Yeah,
But
I think so.
but I think maybe we advertise early in July, then, and with the fiscal year, that, hey, we are open,
Right.
and we can even still say.
Advertise in
as of-
June for July.
Well, it's July for August, really, but last year we advertised in like late August, early September, I
Yeah,
think.
well, because we
So,
didn't really
so
meet
we
through the
didn't have,
summer,
and then
we
we
were
did
kinda-
we did the piece for Westborough TV, and like, even after that.
Right.
So we'll, I think we can begin that in July. And that way people are already, ready to go for
Sure.
August.
Yep.
All right.
What I didn't understand is, at least what I recall, it never appeared on the town website. I mean, when you open up the town's page, it should have been right there in everyone's faces.
It's hard for you to
Like,
find.
you know,
There's
whatever,
so much
whatever
on
those.
it. Who decides
No,
that?
no, no,
Who
just that.
decides?
just that very
in
first
this situation.
page.
If we get a timeline, I can post it on the website. So
Okay.
that's part
No,
of
but
why
we're
this
like,
is
you know,
important.
So I
Whatever
think
the
that
hell
to do,
it
if we
says.
were to do that in July, Brooke, that would be good. We can take an advertisement in the community advertiser again, like we did with our administrative fees, is covering that cost. We can talk to Westborough TV about, you know, some of you doing an interview, since you don't want just
Maybe
the
we
two
can
of
get,
us to be the
maybe we
movie
can get the
stars.
town manager to put it in her
Her letter.
updates.
Yeah, and it should have
up-
been
Yeah.
And that would
summarized
then
as
get,
nothing.
that would get distributed, you know, to everybody who signed up for the town email, which I think,
Now
It's
that it's
a pretty
been to town
wide-
meeting, people know
yeah.
there's a funding, there's a
200,
process.
200 people know.
Yeah, well,
Right.
But it's more than none,
You're seeing
right?
it on your tax bill a lot clearer now, too.
Well, and they did a nice, I mean, the paper did a nice write-up on it too, on the things that were approved. So I mean, there's more and more, certainly, material out there and exposure. Okay, all right, so we'll start that process sooner.
then we should probably meet, whether it's just you and I, the dates on the CPC.
Well,
We'll
if-
have
if-
to vote
if-
on that if we make amendments?
Well,
Or
I
can we
mean,
just amend it and then vote on it in September?
I'm okay, I trust you guys, but
well, I don't.
formally, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we
Well,
should be saying we'll solicit
in
for
theory, we
calls
could just-
in July, due in August.
In theory, we put on here, discuss and decide CPA application
But we could
timeline.
decide on
So
that.
we could make a motion to amend
Because it's
the
on the
dates.
website now
Yep.
And,
with the wrong information if we're going to make these changes.
Well, I think what we could say is that the motion could say that we will advertise and solicit calls for pre-application beginning in July to be received in the month of August, September, you know, with October 1st deadline. So that, you know, it simply allows us to announce and call for it, solicit for it sooner, but they could still be due in August and September.
They could
But
just
we're-
be due.
the
it's,
point-
yeah, I mean.
So it's almost semantics, but we should amend it. We should amend it to say that,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay, so I would make a motion to amend the first sentence of this handbook to, the committee shall solicit calls for pre-application during the months of July, August, and September.
Okay, perfect.
As of July 1st, basically.
I like it.
And then, yes, they're due by October 1st, so
We have
we
a
won't
second on
consider
that?
anything that comes in after October 1st.
A second on that motion to add that.
Second,
Okay, all those in favor? All right, that's great. Okay, I think that would be terrific. All right.
how did we do with spending money this past year? What
We did pretty
had?
well. I mean, we spent some money.
We spent all of it.
Did you?
No.
Oh,
We
I thought maybe
spent
we
about
did.
half.
No,
Little
we
more.
didn't spend
No.
half.
Can't-
Are you kidding?
What did
We
we
spent
spend,
about
about a quarter?
400,000. I
Yeah.
think.
Was
'Cause we had
400 of the,
1.5 million?
yeah, we spent 25%.
About a quarter?
Not good with numbers.
Yeah, you're not good with numbers, come on.
I was just curious.
And so we did recently get a notice from the coalition too, that they're projecting a 15.5% match this year. I mean,
Wow.
they're kind of running in that 15 to 17 range.
Right.
Both of the last 2 years, the ultimate number has been higher than the
Right.
estimate, so they probably try to underpromise and overdeliver.
Sure.
That's all dependent on the market and activity in the marketplace. So if, as you know, if mortgage rates come down ever, maybe there'll be more activity, who knows?
Is any of that accounting spelled out on the website, the town website?
I mean, obviously, it's all in the minutes in the warrant articles in terms
Yeah.
of what those dollars were. We did present that accounting to the
Probably
finance
in the
committee.
town report at some point,
Well,
right?
we will this year, when we wrote Fred and Brooke and I discussed this, when we put the annual report together, those things had not been approved yet, even though they were pending.
Oh,
So
okay.
we decided, but we will make, when we do the annual report for this year, we will put specifically in there those things that we did approve. So those numbers.
Well,
will
also,
be
I think we
disclosed
should have
and
a
with
a
balances.
fiscal report as far as,
do
you
that.
know, what the balance,
Yeah, I would like to see
what the
those
balances were,
numbers.
what
What was
the
distributed,
income,
what
you
the
know.
expected new, because by then we'll have the expected new
what the
contribution.
balance was at the end of,
Okay.
as of the
Yep.
the date of the report, whatever that.
Happy to
was.
do
Simple little table.
No, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Now that it's, first of all, it's material, what we did. But it also, there's a lot of opportunity and people know it's there. That may result in more requests, but that's okay.
Well, and I think if people see actual money amount
Mm-hmm.
associated with what's been spent and what we have left, it gives them more incentive.
Sure.
Like, wow.
I mean, I think it just shows too that we're not
Okay.
just spending everything, right?
Yeah,
Which,
right.
you know, is my concern,
I
is that we
understand.
stockpile, so.
Right, right.
So when are we saying applications have to be due in? When
They're
is the
still due
deadline?
October 1st.
Yeah.
But
Due October, those are
but
just
pre-application by October 1st.
pre-app, okay, and then final application?
You know, that I don't think was actually in here, and ultimately, we did let people know that, but we ought to add that.
Right, that's what Brooke and I were just, Brooke was also, because people might
It
be
was the end,
thinking
it
it's
was November
ongoing,
30th.
rolling.
Final application was by November, so that in our December meeting, we were able to review and make final, because we made our final decisions in January.
Right.
And that gave us enough time, sort of, to get the articles done. I mean, the
To
good
get
news,
people in to present if they,
and the good news with our articles is they, as Christy said, they're not that difficult compared to some of the ones that they have to write. They're pretty straightforward. So if we have that deadline of November 30th for final
November 30th.
applications, we have 2 meetings to review and decide.
Right, we don't have that spelled out in here, but,
Now,
so
so,
that's what we were just talking about.
okay, so do you,
would you make one more motion for me that we add a final deadline for the final applications of November
I
30th?
think Julia should make it, because she,
I think
oh,
that's a
can you make it as co-chair?
I don't know if I can,
Okay, I'll make a motion that the final application deadlines be November 30th.
Second on that?
Second.
Everyone in favor? That's all.
I was going to say November 31st.
That would be hard.
good luck with that.
I'm not
eh?
good with,
That's great.
I'm not
That
good
was,
with,
We
that
won't be
was
here.
what
I'm
was
not good with
missing
numbers.
before. So that's fantastic. Any other things, Brooke, anything we didn't think of that, based on all the things we discussed? All right,
Can I ask a couple questions while she's looking at it?
absolutely.
Yeah, and I have,
Do we have any openings on, do we have a public opening?
that's what I was gonna wonder, if everybody is gonna be re-upping, or some of our members not able to stay on the committee.
Well, I was reappointed as a select board member, so I
okay.
just,
I have to do my reappointment.
Everybody has to do it, I think, by June 30th, I think
Right.
I said. Yeah.
I know that some people have not been coming, so I'm just not sure if there's another representative.
well, I think we should ask the open space for an alternative representative, because I think Dan would be a great, I know him personally, he's a real estate attorney, he'd be a great member, but if he's not going to be able to make the meeting times, I wouldn't ask the committee to change the meeting times
We
just
can
for one
adjust.
person,
Talk about meeting time.
right? I
Right.
think
That's
this,
all we're-
we've had a pretty good success at getting quorum at this time. Let's keep it at this time and ask them if they can appoint someone else.
Right, and space to meet.
That's true, I didn't even consider that, but yeah, there is always conflicts on, I think, we didn't have Westborough TV at this, but I thought we were filming
All
these.
meetings are supposed to be recorded, which is through the OWL too. but
Okay.
At least there's supposed to be a recording or Westboro TV. Oh, he's up there.
Oh, you are recording.
Hey.
I didn't know you were here, Aiden.
He's so quiet.
Thank you. You're
Thank you.
Thank you, Aiden.
Yeah. So
Sorry, I
there we
didn't
go.
ask you for the go-ahead, Aiden.
Make sure you get that on TV, Aiden.
I guess getting Karen, or when we decide on our meeting dates, I guess maybe we go meeting to meeting, deciding on our meeting dates to do the availability, or do we like to
Well,
shoot
we-
for the first Monday of the
Well, I'm
month
certain-
and then go from there if we don't get a quorum?
I think that, to leave that as the plan states, and then on occasion, if there's a conflict or something.
Yeah, adjust
we're
it
not gonna
as
quorum, we
needed.
adjust it, but that way at
But
least
if we
people
do have-
some clarity as to when it should be.
But back to my point, do we have a full committee, or do we need members?
Well, if people haven't reappointed, we don't know that. So I think an email maybe should go out just saying, are you planning on keeping your appointment? They may have got the individual email, but it hasn't been communicated to us.
Okay,
But I think some people on the committee may be stepping back from some of their responsibilities due to health concerns or time commitments. So I think we just need to make sure,
okay.
like you said, an alternative.
I just wasn't even clear if we had a full committee this year. as opposed to next.
It would
yeah.
depend on whether those folks that had been appointed are, to your point, are still on those
Yeah.
committees. So we should reach out to
Okay.
the heads of those.
We did
that
have,
aren't
we
here.
had a representative from every,
That's what I was
Rev-
asking.
every-
yeah.
Oh, we did, yeah.
but no,
okay.
but they weren't able to make the time or
Okay, got it. All right.
didn't prioritize it. So I don't know if Brooke always heard from people that couldn't make it, or we just got 5, we would
Some.
go. But sometimes we didn't hear from
Sometimes
people.
yes, sometimes no.
Yeah,
I mean, we knew Christina Keller, she, replied right away that she just had a conflict tonight.
yeah.
But that was the only other one I saw that replied. Were
Right.
there others that replied they couldn't make it tonight?
I get about 50-50 that reply just to me and to
Everyone?
others.
Okay.
So Chris let me know she couldn't make it.
Yep.
I had solidified.
Chris Allen let you know? Oh, I mean, so they're very consistent in letting us know.
Well, I'm just trying to think who else we
Really,
have.
it's the
Chris
other-
Allen,
It's the other
Chris
couple of
Kelleher,
reps that don't respond.
Dan Berger, and
Yeah.
who else?
Colleen?
And
So
Colleen.
could we ask those two committee chairs if there may be the opportunity to appoint someone else that would be more?
That come from us, or would Brooke be able to take care of that?
Well, is Colleen was here last time, right? Or is she,
And towards the end, yeah.
I
There
didn't
were
know.
2 Colleens, right?
No, 2 Chris's.
Oh, 2 Chris's.
Chris Allen
I mean,
and Chris Kelleher.
Colleen attended fairly
Right,
consistently.
Christine
Kelleher is
Williams,
on the
Chris
She was
planning.
pretty
Christine
consistent.
Winter months
Allen.
might have been tough, but,
Communicating when
right.
she couldn't.
I always have to write everybody's
Well, there may
names
also be
down.
somebody on their committee that wants to, maybe they were initially, but
Well, I can tell you the open space meets very rarely, and I'm not sure who else they would ask to do it, so we can coordinate with the chair.
Okay.
So, all right.
and the option of even people zooming in to this meeting hasn't worked also.
It's very difficult. It's
Yeah.
just very difficult logistically. That work.
All right.
Have that conversation.
I didn't see anything else in the email, Brooke. I think we covered it.
No, I think we got every point that I had in there.
So I had another question, I'm sorry. I had sent an email to the CPC address that came up in the town emails. Did you guys get that I was,
Oh, yes,
you did?
yes.
So I
I didn't,
So
not that I'm aware.
I had applied for and was accepted to the Mass Housing Leadership Academy, which is basically a program, introducing officials or elected officials or appointed officials to housing opportunities, grant opportunities, that kind of things in the state. So I thought that would be something that would help me both on the Affordable Housing Trust and on this committee,
Great.
and as a select board member. But I sent it to the CPC address
As I was
that
saying,
popped up.
those go to me and to Brooke.
Yeah, but I got like a bounce back from somebody, and I don't know if it was somebody that was supposed to be on this committee or somebody who was supposed to be on the Affordable Housing Trust. But those group emails are not set up properly, and I don't know if you can check with Mark Stockman about it. Would that be something you could handle, or is that something I should just
I
go
can
through?
reach out to IT and figure
Yeah,
out. I know that there's a couple CPC type to send it to all of you. There's 2 that come up. One of them is just me.
Hmm.
The other one is everyone else. So I think I'll just reach out and try to
Yeah,
figure
we
yeah,
should test those
and
and make
and
sure.
it doesn't tell me like whose email I'm sending it to, like who's in that group or whoever. So I have no idea if the bounce back came from people from the Affordable Housing Trust or people from this committee or that were used to be on this committee. I would just maybe coordinate with Kristen on the Housing Trust too, because that might be where the problem is.
My understanding, Mark, was that email would only go to the administrator. And then they would just, Brooke would decide whether it's appropriate to share with us or not.
Right.
Most of the time you do.
There's that email that's listed on the website, but there's also groups
Mhm.
within Outlook or within town that are set up. So when I go to email all of you, it's a CPC group that is a grouping of all of your emails. So different from like the CPC.
Incoming, right.
Right. So
Okay.
if he used that one, it should have gone to everyone, but it's not.
Well, so I'm not
I
even
think
sure which
something-
one
I
I
don't think
used.
we would, I don't think we have the group email. I usually just pick one of the prior emails and use that because I know everyone's on it.
Well, the only reason I probably have access to it is because I have a town email.
Could be,
Right.
right,
And,
that's,
but you guys all have a CPC email, or do you just use personal?
No, we have
emails?
our personal emails.
Okay, well, yeah, I didn't really know who it was going to, and I just got bounced back. So I'm just bringing it up from a procedural standpoint.
Well, is that like a 1 week thing? What's the structure of that, Mark?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Academy. Is that a particular structure, type of training or what's
Yeah, it's a
involved?
6 weeks, 6 online sessions and 2 in-person
I didn't
sessions.
say on campus. I was like, that's a long time on campus.
No, 6 weeks on campus, that bring me back. Yeah.
Okay.
So 6 online sessions and 2 in-person sessions.
Great.
And, so if there's any housing issues that as far as I think we got a pretty good handle on housing from the Community Preservation Coalition and what is eligible and things like that. But I just wanted you guys to know about it because I think it could be.
My only question is like the select board, when somebody does send an email, it goes to all the select board to that. We wouldn't necessarily want that. We want it, again, to be filtered through Brooke. I just
think
want to
so.
clarify.
Yes.
I think,
Okay,
I
and then
think
she'll
that should
forward it
her.
to whoever's appropriate,
I think
or
so.
whoever is Brooke. I mean, did I hear
Yes.
that we?
She has we have a new
Yes,
replacement,
right.
June 1st, correct?
Right, June 1st, Fred.
Yep.
We
Which is
noticed that we'll have a
exciting.
new admin.
Yeah, and I don't think it's good practice for us to email each other, right?
No,
It's
no,
good-
for open.
We don't want to have
for
open meeting.
Open meeting rules, I'd prefer not. Okay. So I don't think there'll be a need for a June or July. The next would be indeed August. If everyone, should we take a very quick look what that date will be? And so it's in people's minds right out of the gate. So that would be August 3rd, correct? First Monday?
Yep.
Great.
How about the application? Should
I'm
I
putting
just
that in
work on
right
that
now.
with you?
Yeah, well, maybe we should have that quick discussion. Margie and I can work on updating the application. Are you all okay with that?
Brooke took notes as to what
Yeah.
the motions were, so that would be fine.
Okay. Admin may be a little overwhelmed if we have her updating an application, and Margie's gone through the
Yeah, I
process,
mean,
and
those,
I did a lot of
it's a
updating
couple,
in the
it's a couple of
past.
lines. That
I don't
would
think we
be,
voted
if you
on
want to do that.
Yeah.
and
Do we have to
forward
make a
that with
vote
Brooke.
for that?
Well,
or-
I think we voted to make those amendments to
Okay.
the document, so I think that's
Okay.
fine. I think we're good.
Oh, okay.
No, not the application, we
Yeah,
voted, are you
specific-
saying,
The application.
oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
That's okay.
I thought you were talking about these changes we made.
Margie and I could work
No,
on the
no, no.
application and update it, because she's gone through the process of applying and sees the red flags, and I'm happy to do the updating. Because I updated the original document, or put the original document, I have no problem doing that, just so the new admin can come in and be comfortable, and we'll make sure the application is together for July 1st.
New admin? Back up on me?
Oh, they
Saying
hired a new
a
admin?
A new admin.
I didn't.
Brooke will not
To
be
replace David.
doing 3 jobs.
Okay.
Yep,
Well, I knew it was advertised, but I hadn't heard. so-
for June 1st.
Okay.
Yeah, for June 1st.
Excellent. But sad at the same time, Brooke. Sorry.
Yeah, you can come still.
Yeah,
'Cause you-
I'll stick around for a little bit, I'll help her out.
You break them in, yes.
yeah. Well, if we're not going to meet until August, that would be- Yeah.
Yay.
So did you have comments or questions? You've been sitting here listening patiently.
I'm Patrick Hallisey from St. Luke's Church. I emailed Brooke.
Yes.
Okay.
So you guys
Spoke with me.
Yes, I spoke to you briefly. So the biggest question we've got is we're putting a new roof on St. Luke's. And our concern is to get it going, because it's such a long time period. We don't want to knock ourselves out, at least for the application, by contracting one of these roofers and having everything all spelled out, and you say, well, you've got it all spelled out, you can't apply. So that's our biggest concern. We want to make sure that we're doing it correctly, so that at least we can apply for funding, whether we'll get it or not. And so we Then the problem is we have to get going to get the slate up on top of the roof by August. Our plan is by August 1st to have the slate going up. So we get staging in before then. August 1st, they start roofing. It's supposed to take 10 or 12 weeks. They always say it may take 16 weeks because of weather and so on, but we've got to have it done before snow. So that's going to fall right in the time period of when you guys are accepting applications, pre-applications and so on. So how would you advise us to proceed? We don't hurt ourselves, and we have to contract the roofer, so we can't contract and say, just start and then stop again, and then we'll have you apply.
I think you should wait a year.
Well, the challenge is that,
No, I mean, I don't know, well, I'll let them speak because he's the chair, so.
yeah, well, the process requires a spring town meeting vote for approval. So that even if we were, one quick question, is the building actually a historical building? Is it a certified historical building? It is, okay, so I just want to make sure that, because I thought there was not some clarity on that. So Mark made the right point, and effectively, we can't go back for a project that's been done. So if it can be staged, that work that would be done after the Springtown meeting and was proposed, that could be considered.
One of our ideas is, and apparently it's historically eligible, is slate on, right now the roof is, there's 4 roofs, 2 upper and 2 lower roofs.
Okay.
If we put slate on the upper roofs, but we have that roofer contract, we need to apply, we need to show what we're going to spend.
Correct.
What we anticipate spending. The architect says that copper is a better material for the lower roof. That's where the problem is the bell tower keeps shedding ice during winter, and it knocks the slates apart.
Breaking the slate.
And then we've got 2 major leaks inside the church. So we're trying to fix that. So the architect says copper is better.
Okay.
And what we've learned is with the price of copper going up, copper is easier to put down, but the cost of the copper itself is more expensive. Slate is cheap, but it
Not as
takes
effective.
back putting 2 nails in, and takes all sorts of time. So the price of both of them is equivalent now. So we're thinking of going with copper. So if we had the roofer under contract for slate on the upper roof, could we, and he doesn't do the lower roof, we leave the current slate on there, could we apply for the copper for the spring?
Seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, I think,
That would be within
I
the
think
scope.
we'd have to dig into it, because we'd want to show that we were only funding a portion of the total project, and if you've already spent money on the main roof, would that count as part of the total project? Or, I mean, are you asking for the entire funding for the copper roof?
Well, for the copper, we
It
would
start on the copper
Should be a separate project,
It'd be a separate
basically.
project.
Yeah.
but
Scope of it.
we've got to get estimates for the roofer. Staging would already be up.
Right.
right, we'll need estimates, obviously,
Yeah.
for the approval, so.
But we leave the staging up all winter, have the application ready, and then in the spring,
Right,
Copper roof, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it would be a
right, but are you
separate
asking for the Community Preservation Fund to fund the entire
no,
portion of that?
like the copper, yes.
No, even of that copper piece, though. Like, let's say let's say the whole roof costs 10, like, including all 4 sections, costs $10, right? And you're spending $5 on the first portion this year, and the second portion is going to be another $5. Are you asking us to fund that other $5?
That would be our goal.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where I'm concerned, because you've already spent a portion of the whole with,
But just make it into 2 separate
it's
projects.
2 separate
Two
projects.
different
Okay.
budgets, 2 different
Yeah.
projects.
but,
So what's important is
But-
you can't contract the whole thing in one contract. You
Right.
can certainly suggest to the builder that we'll have you back in the spring for the copper, because we'll need to see that as its own standalone
Yeah, you have to
agreement.
slice it off.
And, get the pricing based on, we're going to use, it sounded like you said they may not do that work anyway. It would be a
Oh,
different
it'd be the same
contract.
guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
There's very few around New England.
That even do it.
the only reason I say that is because it's, I mean, one of the criteria is that you know, for example, Westborough TV funded a large portion of that project themselves and only asked us for a portion of the whole project. So I just would like to be able to structure the application so that you're only asking us for a fraction of the whole project as opposed to the entire funding for one project.
That's exactly what we're asking.
I would say that my own.
But there's
my-
plenty of projects where we funded the whole thing.
I agree, I just think
Yeah.
it would
Well,
make,
So, like,
under
depending
the
on what
cir-
it is, we could come back and only want to fund half of it, right? We don't have to fund the whole project.
and I also think as long as we present it to town meeting that, look, they're asking to fund a portion of the entire
Of the
roof,
entire
not the
roof.
whole, yeah. So I just think it's how it's
Under the
presented.
circumstances in your application to say that given timing and weather and urgency for protecting the building, we did the first half out of our own
Right.
funds.
Yeah.
And while technically you're applying for the second half to us, I would give consideration to the fact that you've already spent significant money on the first part.
Right.
But I do
That's
think,
my opinion.
I do think we should dig into this with the CP.
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt,
just
just
to
to
make
make
sure
sure,
that we-
yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, this process is new to us too, and I just don't want to make sure that we're not giving you advice that backfires. So,
No, I
yeah,
understand.
yeah. But I think we have a good understanding of it, and we can reach out to Stuart and maybe give him, oh,
I did, I received an email. I did reach out to Stuart and Chase.
you're way ahead of us, Brooke. This is why we're sorry to see you go.
So they are aware, I just haven't heard a full answer back yet, so that's all I'm waiting on, but.
Okay,
They
great.
do know, and it's.
Well,
it's
hopefully
kind
they'll get back to us by
And
August.
historically, I did look into it, and other towns have funded some churches for projects of, if they're considered historical.
Yeah.
Yes,
like
it has to
Westborough
be.
did
Has to
recently.
be, right. So I did do some research, just seeing if that was possible, because I wasn't 100% sure if they had
Well, I think the
funded
church is
churches.
older than Westboro TV building.
But it
right?
has to be certified historical.
Yes, but, right.
If it hasn't
So I
been,
did do
would
that,
have to
and
be
it,
done.
and that was possible. It had been done before, as we're setting
Yes.
precedents
There's
to
quite a
what,
few
to
church
move
projects.
forward.
Okay, great. I mean, I think it's, I don't know what else to
It's a
say. I
viable
think
option.
let's.
We won't know what could else come in for historical, and that could, depending on our piece of pie that might be set across, that could also hinder some of your funding potentially, but, you know, we'll have to.
Right, that's a good point, because we
Certainly
did
qualified
spend,
project.
we spent the 10% plus on historic at the last.
Right, now
time
you can
meeting, so-
use the main bucket funds.
Sure,
Certainly,
yeah.
and we will have another contribution to that with, coinciding with this request in the spring.
Yeah.
So it will all depend on the cost. And the point was already made, we don't always fund 100%. But that doesn't mean you can't ask for it.
Right.
Right?
So just a couple of related questions. So again, because we didn't know how this was going to go, if you said absolutely not, forget it. Windows are about to fall out. Springfield, the Springfield CPC funded lots of church windows. As long as they're not funding the actual window, which is religious in nature, glass windows, but the frames need caulking, painting, there's ballistic glass on there.
Yeah, preservation, yep. As long as it's
preservation.
preservation, I don't think we can pay to replace.
Done in 1921, it's to protect against vandals. But in 1921, they didn't realize that there was going to be air conditioning and heat and all.
Right.
There's no vent to these things. So there's
They expand
condensation
and contract,
inside,
and that's
which
not
is
good.
a problem.
Yeah, it's Patrick, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I would just, again, I can't speak for the whole committee, but can you stagger these into separate years? So that we're not giving like a huge chunk to one organization or one project and not have any money left for anybody else?
Yeah,
This is what you wanted to do.
Well, let him finish
Well,
his.
Well, that's why we were trying to figure out.
I do
should we
want to do
apply
that.
for
That's a good
roof?
point, but,
Or like a scope
Or
of
do we,
projects.
or if you guys say absolutely not, the roof's out because you
I
started
mean,
the
I guess
slate, so you can't
this
get.
benefits a
can't
lot of
lay the
people in
copper.
town, so
Yeah.
We just
yeah,
forego
but-
that and apply for windows.
Right.
Well,
Well,
that's,
Yeah, but if you're already going to have the staging up, it seems.
Yeah. Well, and
That's-
ultimately it
I'm
goes to
comfortable
town
with the
meeting.
second stage of the roof.
Ultimately, it goes to town meeting, and that's where it's voted. As we can make the recommendations, it's the town meeting that's going to
Yeah.
make the final decisions.
If you want to request funding for the windows next
Right.
year, if they can wait.
Right, or, yeah,
it can
figure
work.
Okay,
What
yeah,
you
then-
scope.
The windows can wait, the roof.
do that
we'd
next-
rather
I'm,
not
I'm
wait.
confident that both would qualify to a degree.
Yeah,
And I was listening to you guys talk, but I couldn't quite hear. So is the pre-applications due by
October 1st.
October 1st?
Right.
And then the application, final
But they're
application
welcome in
November
August.
30th?
July and
And in
August will
fact,
be
July.
available.
Yeah.
You can submit that
The sooner
anytime.
the better.
Yeah.
And only because all these other guys are asking, well, how much money is available? What is a potential amount of money available?
Well, I mean, we have $1.4 million approximately. There's approximately $1.4 million, but that is
It's sliced
intended
into
to be,
buckets.
it's split into different uses. So some of that is.
So
in-
10% every year goes into recreation, 10% every year goes into the housing, 10% goes into historic, which we spent all 10% of that on the cemetery and the Westborough TV. Then 70%,
65. because-
65% goes into a general fund that can be spent on any of those. Okay?
10% of 1.4 goes to all three, and then of the remaining?
It's more complicated than that.
When we receive the funds each year, 10% of that is required to go into each of the buckets. But as we now begin to draw on the buckets, those bucket balances will fluctuate. To Mark's point, 65% is in a general bucket that can be used for all three. Now, some of that has been drawn as well. So that total is allocated amongst a variety.
Right.
Some is in the general bucket, some is in the other three.
So if you can picture, there's 4 buckets, 3 little buckets and 1 big bucket, right? The little bucket for historic stuff is empty right now, but when we get money this year, that'll fill up a little bit, right? The big bucket is where you'll get most of the money, right? And it's just a question of how much we take out of that big bucket.
I read the whole thing, but one thing.
Big bucket, little bucket.
So can we give them an idea of the maximum amount of funding that we've provided to a project so far?
Maximum amount is 180,000.
180?
180.
That's the we've only had 1 year cycle of funding, so
Right,
keep
right.
that in mind. It's, there's no, is there a set
There
limit?
is not a limit.
Okay.
Haven't
We're only
really
limited by
large
those
requests.
buckets. So we
No,
can't
it-
take money out of the recreation bucket and use it for a historical project. So the 2 of those little buckets are going to stay full. That they won't be used for this.
10% of 1.4 million is in the historical bucket.
Actually, no, because that bucket's empty right now. So
So
10
that
so
got
let's-
used for this year.
Let's say the funding in this fiscal year is 400,000, there would be 40,000 in that bucket,
Okay.
and 65% of 40,
But
250,000
isn't it going to be refilled? That
Well,
bucket
it'll
will
be refilled
when we get,
with the 10%, but there is over $1 million in the general bucket that is available for any type of project. Certainly, depending on the viability and number of requests that we get, we'd like to, if they're all legit and the committee feels they're all worth it, we're likely to spread money around. So something to be a lot larger, I think, than what we've given so far, which was that one, we did 151 and 180. It would have to be pretty unique, but that's meaningful. That's a meaningful amount of money.
yeah.
That can certainly help a project. So that's a couple of examples from this past year.
yeah. So you can do that pre-application anytime, and the advantage to that is we can get you a specific answer, at least do some preliminary findings with Brooke and the chair as far as whether, it meets the criteria. And we could vote on it at our August meeting, and tell you it's eligible.
Well, that would be at the September meeting. I mean, to be fair, as we just stated, we will review them for the first time at our September meeting. But you're welcome beginning in July to send that in. We can certainly give you feedback, just like we're doing now.
This is great.
And we're happy to give you this get back and forth so you have some sense of what's happening.
One last question. The architect asked, is there a person you could ask, Brooke might know the answer to this, someone who knows some very particulars. When I was on the phone with you, there was another individual, was it Fred? And he
Fred
said
Leonardo.
That the committee might not know the answer to that. There's some particular questions the architect might have.
This Community Preservation Coalition probably would have the
Somebody,
best, yeah.
someone
There's a
who
Mass
has some-
Community Preservation Coalition, Stuart Sagnor and Chase Mack, right?
I
They're-
shared your information with them, so
Okay,
if
that's
it was
what it is.
included
They
in
have
that
a-
email, then they've hopefully seen it.
they have a website with frequently asked questions and a lot of, is my project eligible, or that kind, and as far as the architect's questions, there may be some information there. I haven't, as not being an architect, I haven't looked at it, but.
He went through it and didn't find the questions he was looking for, because he's out of Springfield, and he's done a number of churches in Springfield. He mentioned a dozen where he's done applications to the Springfield questions that.
They would be the folks to ask. I mean, they can certainly include us, and probably should. And we may be able to, if not, they're the ones we go to ask. So it may save time to go directly to them. And certainly that's an option.
Yeah, I think we would, like, on something like that, I would want the Historic Commission to have some, I would consider going to the Historic Commission and saying, is this consistent with the history of the church, or maybe the church itself would know that better. I don't know, but would we want to? Would we ever?
It's the National Historic Standards to have slate or copper.
Okay.
And or slate and copper. So you have two different roofs.
Yeah, somebody came.
Sounds like you need a rubber roof.
No.
Would we ever consult the Historic Commission for advice on?
I don't.
I think that's the
We had a
specific.
presentation for the windows.
I think if it's a registered historic place, they would have to go to the Historic Commission at some point outside of this process.
Design review kind.
Well, I think the building permit and what they're doing would be considered whether it was historical or not. There's
No, because they're
definitely-
not, Westborough has no official local historic. Don't even think about these districts at all. They have no.
They don't have
It's
requirements.
it's a nice thing to have. So there's no place in town that,
You go and say, is this material acceptable to you as a
yeah,
historic?
people come to us as a courtesy,
Mhm.
we give advice. So no, there's no have to. But yes, Karen Henderson, they came to the Historic Commission to talk about, a presentation about the windows.
It's always
So
good
yes,
to get their
yeah.
support, right? If you get their
Yes.
support, then it's,
We had a discussion with one of the members, and he said that copper is totally acceptable as.
I'm sure it would be.
slate.
Oh yeah, Christian's great, he's our chair.
Invitation slate is out, and
Yeah.
the solar panels are
Yeah,
out.
he's an
The
architect
rubber
himself.
roof is out.
mhm.
you know. It's gonna be slate and copper, we're pretty sure.
That sounds historical to me. Yep,
I can ask Christian if he wants.
okay.
So it was Christian.
So
Yeah,
he's-
if he wants a presentation, I can let you know, or I'll ask him.
We're also, one of the problems is getting slate. Vermont slate is gray, there's Buckingham slate is closed, there's Canadian slate, which is gray and green, Spanish slate is red, and I guess that's out. If you look at the roof, you can see all the red. That was the cheap slate, was from Spain, and, well, anyway, so all these slate things that I've learned. So it's apparently it's gonna come from Canada, and the Canadians, they
size
do
of
something when they ship it, so they ship it in vats or big pallets of color. One is gray, one might be more white, one might be more black. So then you have to sort it, which is the term for mixing it. So you don't have one section of the roof look black and then it looks white and the other looks gray from a distance. So, and we don't know what the thing purpose, knowing that it's coming
United
a
States.
little bit of friction.
Just get the Pope to order it.
Even with the churches, I mean, really?
Just get the Pope to order it for you.
Sounds like a fun learning
To
process.
order it, it'll be all right.
You want to wait a couple more years?
Maybe we'll be back in Canada's good graces. And,
Think of another state.
all right, we're on TV too,
Thank-
so let's
thank you
get.
very much. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your
Getting
questions.
sidetracked.
And again, we're here if you have interim questions. Brooke's the best to come through to get to the right folks.
And it bounced back, yeah. Oh, wow.
We'll get on that. Appreciate that
That's
feedback.
not good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other business? I would ask for a motion then to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, thanks so much, everybody.